right, so basically we're doing this round table style. We've been coming around to some of these places where new gyms have opened up. Just had the grand opening down here at the new Wolves Den in Rivertown. Chamber of Commerce has labor and all here. So been having all these conversations with all you coaches everywhere we go. And in talking with Coach D, figured, it'd probably be good to get some of these conversations on film because there's so much that's affected all of us through all of this. And every conversation we have, people probably need to hear a lot of it, a lot of the different things we've been dealing with through this and all, the struggles we've had. I mean, you found out firsthand just trying to secure a location.
Oh yeah, just the location alone, trying to find a spot in Oregon, in the city of Carmel where we're at. I mean, that was a headache, and then I don't know. This building popped up. Actually, it wasn't even empty. The people were still, renting the building. And I just walked over one day and said, "Hey, y'all, what y'all doing in this place?" And he's like, "Hey, man, we getting ready to move." I said, "Move? Where?" "Florence. So we won't need this spot, but we in the lease for like 2 years." And then, of course, I was like, "Hey, what if you let me turn this into a restaurant?" Blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of went from there. And then as far as trying to get funds, oh my God, sponsorships. And I guess because of COVID and people being low on funds and not being able to work, that affected a lot. That was and I think that's probably going to affect us for the rest of the season too.
I was weird, and I was like, I don't think we're gonna have a wrestling season.
Yeah, I thought that a couple times too.
Schools shut down. I mean, and people acting like you can't even call for a sneeze no more. You got COVID. So I was like, man, there's really nowhere nobody gonna let us go there to practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when he called me and told me, brother, I think I got it. I said, man, you playing. Think I got it. I said,
and that's big. That's why I'm so appreciative of you guys, because that's what we need is people to step out and provide these opportunities where they've been taken away from our kids.
Because you even know what it is. The summertime, we doing national. We don't care where it's at. We going. Right. And we usually be able to get into the high school to practice a little bit, but wasn't able to do that. And then me, I had an extra tough because my wife is a nurse. And when COVID first hit, her floor was designated the COVID floor, so it was just all in. So it was tournaments that Coach King still went to and y'all still had. I wanted to go, but she was still like,
she wasn't let Zai go to because her being on the front line.
You know what I mean? So, and then me being a coach, being a dad and a husband, I was like, man, I want my boy to be wrestling, but I want to stay have a happy home too. So I had to let him win.
Happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah. And then you had that the Michigan tournament.
The Graphic Fall Classic.
I said that's in the back door. We going. She's like, well, the numbers are, they were slowing down some, and she gave us the okay. I said, Coach King, we got one. And he was there. And I could tell he ain't wrestled. Trust me.
Yeah, boy.
He took a shot on a kid and had him and everything. I don't know what happened. I said, well, I just showed him this video the other day. I said, son, what was you doing right there? Your mom told me, you know he was arrested. I look like, you were arrested because of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But that's affecting it.
By that time, we were able to have shown that we've had enough tournaments without issues that we can run it safely.
Yeah, about 2 people actually.
Yeah, 2 wrestlers and 2 officials so far out of all these tournaments.
Thousands.
That's
thousands and thousands of wrestlers, about 16 tournaments. Yeah, it's we've proven it can be done safely, but that's really the biggest obstacle that will come out of this is people's fear.
Yeah.
And the uncertainty and being afraid of it.
I know, yeah. I mean, like, and we don't downplay it at all because, I mean, it is serious, but I feel there's certain things that shouldn't be stopped that these kids still need to do, you know what I mean? And wrestling is one of the biggest sports, you know what I mean? It's a life-changing sport.
That's right.
And to take it away, I don't think,
I think the mental health of our kids was one of the biggest things on my mind out of this when they were being shut down.
Yeah.
I talked to you guys. I had a wrestler that was that attempted suicide. And being shut up is not good for us. It wasn't good for me. I ain't gonna lie.
Can't go nowhere standing
I
out.
was at home going crazy trying to figure out how to get this stuff open back up.
Right.
Hey, I needed wrestling because them kids drive me crazy. I need to get out and get tired so you go home and go to sleep.
Yeah, I definitely needed it too. Just like when I was telling my story earlier about Coach helping save my life, that was huge for me. But if he wasn't there, if he wasn't that guy that was there in my corner at that time, I mean, I've definitely been locked up, dead, shot up, shot somebody, did something crazy. So I want to be that person he was to me, to these kids. And being right up 2 blocks away from where I grew up at, I mean, that just made it even sweeter because I can walk right to that same neighborhood from here and say, all right, get in the van. I'm going to do what my coach did to me. Get in. If I got to chase you down, that's what I'm going to do to save your life. So that, I mean, that's
crazy. You don't know how much of a difference, well, you do, but most people don't know how much of a difference things like this make in their community overall.
right.
Each individual kid, and everybody always says, well, if you can change one kid's life, well, you're changing not just one kid's life, but a whole community of kids' lives.
Yeah.
And,
One of the at the grand open here earlier, the cop, I think his name was Hill. He said something that kind of stuck with me. He said, man, whatever you're doing, what you're doing now, he was like, man, God has definitely got his hands on that because he said, I'm a cop. I'm from this area. I see the kids that I have to put in jail and that gets in trouble, all the time. He said, man, just for you having an outlet like this, even if they don't wrestle, even if they come in and they're not good, or it's not about winning or losing. He said, man, you just keep going, and even if they learn how to be good sportsmanship, learn how to lose with class, how to win with class, he said just that alone, man, you'll be able to save a lot of people. And he said, man, just anytime you need me, we'll come roll through, patrol through, whatever we need to do just to make sure, it's a safe spot over here. So I really appreciate that from him. I'm saying that today.
And that's just it, the difference that you make, obviously that's why we're passionate about this sport. There's no sport better than this. It'd be a lot easier for all of us to do what we do. I was telling Coach D on the way down here, it'd be a lot easier if I was just going fishing.
Yeah.
Right, that's the easy way. There's a lot of headache we take on with this. Putting together a season was. I had 3 people basically working full time, just trying to secure venues.
Oh, man.
And we'd get a venue that would be ready to go, and say, yes, we're all in. All right, we need this date, this date, this date. And then they say, well, now I need to go back to my management because we're not sure. And then we had to shift dates around them, and it was getting down to crunch time. I was like, we got to put something out.
I used to be asking, like, when is the schedule?
Oh, trust me, I was getting multiple calls every hour.
Yeah. And then it's still, you still got those parents. And even like me and Coach King, we be talking, because there's been a lot of late nights out here. We've been trying to get this place together for these kids. And you were like, bro, you think the kids gonna come? Say, they're gonna come. We're gonna have some that's together. That's with anything. But we doing every precaution is to keep everything down. I mean, like, when it comes to wrestling, yeah, COVID is serious, but wrestling seems some serious disease. So we're one of the coolest people you ever gonna meet. Might not look like,
might not smell like.
Trust me, we gonna make sure we stay
to
up.
do with ringworm and staff and
Everything,
We always sanitized everything.
There's a lot more sanitization going on in wrestling than any other sport.
Exactly. And I tell parents, son, Trevor, we're gonna keep them safe.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna keep them safe.
So what happened when you first heard the word that the high schools were closing down? Y'all were training out of high school.
Oh, woo! We went in straight panic mode.
I said no season.
We went in straight panic mode because
I didn't know
we operated out of the high school.
Yeah,
so when they closed down, we closed down. And I know, all wrestlers it really can't afford to take off even one season or 1 year if they've been continuously wrestling. Because that's huge. You can see the big difference just from what you were saying with your own son, coming from stopping in March to now started back in October when we went to that one?
Yeah.
October, just that little bit of time frame. not even practicing, man. It was rough on me.
Like,
You know,
Okay, yeah, stay with that as coaches. That's what the average person who doesn't deal with sports understand. Explain what a season is like for a wrestler. Practice to get ready for any tournament, and how much time can change the whole outcome of their performance in the match. Because they don't get
Grind. GRIND.
we had last season. We had about 9. We had more than that. We had about 15, 17 rookies. All right, rookies never been on the mat, not even know what wrestling was. So from November around this time to by the end of the March to the state championship, we had 9 of the 17 that were state champions, and not just rookie tournaments, in the regular tournaments. So just in that time frame from November to March, we created 9 state champions, and
that's off what, 3 days a week?
that's off of 3 days a week, practicing from Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, from 6:30 to 7:45.
And we
So an
grind.
hour and a half. So about 6 hours, almost 5-6 hours of practice a week. Be able to create monsters or wolves or whatever you want to call
But
it.
you got, they stay.
See how fast it falls
You know
off.
what
Yeah.
I mean, it takes no time.
Yeah.
Cause, I'm use my son as him. I looked at him, I say, no, that can't be my boy. That can't be my son. I
And he
mean,
only had about what, a 3-4 month break.
yeah, and it's like, do you know anything? He's like,
Like you forgot it all.
tired. And then Nina, she come on, leave him alone. He ain't been on the mat as long. I'm like, shoot, he don't know no move.
Like,
Like he's starting all
everything.
over again. And
But
that's just,
that's how important it is to continue each month. Or
especially at
each
their
month,
age, you know, it's like,
continue learning.
you got to keep going, because if not, Nintendo game, what they
Take
doing?
over.
They ain't, you know what I mean?
The
Like,
streets.
and he used, in COVID, kids that's doing wrestling and love wrestling, they passionate about it.
Yeah.
And my son like, I ain't going to this tournament with that. I said, nope, your mama said you can't wrestle in this tournament. And he wanted to wrestle. But then you got your mama on this end, you got your daddy on this end. So I'm like, son, we're in the same boat. You know what I mean? There's nothing I could do. And then, like, with us training out of high school, like the AD candidate, we usually could get into the high school, these national tournaments, you know what I mean? And he didn't mind us going in their training, you know?
Right.
So we were steady prepared, you know what I mean? They might take a month off after March, but then they right back at it, you know what I mean? So what I've been able to get in high school, I really didn't. This season, I didn't think it was going to be possible at all, because the big outpour and big outcry about COVID. Like I said, I know it's serious, but I asked my cousin, what you doing? He say, I'm working, brother, I'm working, you know what I mean? And then just to see, one thing I will say about South Carolina that I did like, South Carolina opened up where we was able to get some of the biggest tournaments, where nobody ever thought South Carolina would be
That was
wrestling.
a game changer.
In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, at that. You know, like, that let you know that was very big, huge for our state during this pandemic. Like, and we get to Michael, hey, he worked hard.
I got a great team around me. I don't
And you know, like, hey, you and the team, y'all got it. And even like you said, now you got us scheduled, so these kids ready to go. They're like, I know I got something to do. I know wrestling, because a lot of them, you know, you have fall sports like baseball and this, and that's coming to an end. Half of the kids that's around us and that we're recruiting, they don't play basketball, they're wrestlers.
That's right.
Cause we going, like, I cannot tell you, man, you ain't got no wrestling season this year. No, that's tough, man.
And honestly, I think COVID exposed our Achilles heel, especially as a state, but as a sport even, because other states have the same problem, that we do rely too much on the schools for their space in there.
Yeah.
There aren't places like this, there aren't enough of them.
Right.
Yeah, there's just one or two, but now they're starting to pop up. People are following people's leads, and it is gonna make things, at the end of the day, the worst thing that could have happened in this sport was COVID.
Yeah.
But I think if we look a
Almost
couple
at
years down the
same time,
road,
we would say it was
us adjusting to that adversity that forced our hands to do some of the
Yeah.
things like this, I think it'll end up being one of the better things for us.
Yeah, I told Nina that one night too. We were just sitting talking about 2020 just in general, and I was like, man, this got to be the worst year that we ever had. And then she started naming all stuff. She was like, well, okay, I mean, look at it. Quick services, our business didn't go down. We still hiring people.
Yeah.
Look, you're able to get a wrestling ring when everybody else is closing down. I mean, it still affects everybody, but at the same time, I was like, man, you're right. It's probably the best year we ever had.
Yeah, because, hey, like he said, we've been talking about this.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this years and years. And we've been searching, we've been building new building. But, you know, we had to come for the other high school. You know what I mean? Like, well, we can't do that high school. But then when it's taken away from him,
we got no
we
choice.
was gonna go.
Forced hand.
And
That's right.
Him being our head coach, he was like,
so
his son being a wrestler, he was like, and no, Coach King gonna find something.
oh yeah,
Ain't gotta make him at his place.
but that came from me learning determination from wrestling. It came from being confident in myself, being we were talking about being betas and
alpha. Let
alpha.
these kids have this taken away.
You gotta take that lead.
Talk about being fathers and head of your household, and what a financial blow when you first realize that you're gonna lose so many, you know, potential clients that you've been relying on for that little bit of change that does that. You know what I'm saying? Now people we don't think about it because we always had it. How did you feel when you finally lost it and go, okay, what's my next move? When there was no moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Can you ask me again in a couple of months and we see if we make it through this?
Right. Yeah. Right.
I've been working, but I have to been doing I've been working harder.
Yeah.
I'll say that. You know, like usually Coach King come like, man, can you do that? Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Because where I used to could do these longer runs, where I had the time off to do it, I ended up having to do a lot more shorter runs. Like some days I get off, I go to work at 5 in the morning, it's 2 or 3. I'm getting off because I got all these little short runs to try to make ends meet.
What time you went this morning?
I left 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. The be, and I knew
But that's that rest. That's
I
that
know that. He's
dedication.
just sending me messages when I'm supposed to, when I'm up nearby trying to meet up, and like, nah, man, I'm on the road at 4 in the morning.
Yeah. And that's another. I'll be like, I'm coming down there, man. Let's get up. I'll be like, when? I'll be like, man, I don't think I'm ready to make it. Like, I'm still on the road. And like, I wish I was there, but you know, I had to do it.
But a lot of coaches have that dedication like we do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them that's just there, just to be there.
I do think there's still some of them that are thinking like that are afraid to step out. They don't want to put themselves out there
Right.
and take that extra risk. It's that comfort umbrella of the schools.
Yeah.
And that's another thing where I think these type of things are huge because it shows other people you can do this and be successful.
Right.
Same thing with us opening the national tournaments.
Right.
Yeah.
We showed everybody you can have a tournament and be safe. There are safe ways to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to take on extra. It's extra cost. It's extra work. But you can do this if you care enough to make it happen.
Right. And that's what happened. I've had from this whole process of getting this grand opening, man, I had so many people come, not discouraging, but even though it discouraged me just a little, you know, they would say stuff like, hey man, aren't you afraid that the kid's not going to participate, they're not going to show up, or somebody's going to get sick in your, venue and all that? And I'm like, whatever God has for whoever, they're going to get it, whatever, whatever's for you is for you. I can't do nothing to stop that.
Yeah.
I can try, I can hate on you, I can do whatever, but whatever he has for you, that's what he has for you. So I had to keep thinking that way. So my answer to them is like, hey, I may not get that many kids, but whatever kids I get in here, that's what we gonna work with.
Yeah, what about that one?
That's all I need is one.
If he's the one going nuts at home,
That's right.
that really needs this,
That's
you
right.
get one kid in this door and you save his life.
That's it. Well, in my case, I would say I needed
Yeah.
3 kids. One gonna be mine already. One gonna be his, and then whatever other kid we get.
And I'll tell Coach King at the end of the day, I said, listen, as long as these kids want to do it, if me and you just got to sacrifice certain things we got, we're going to keep these doors open.
That's right.
We're going to keep these doors
We're
open
gonna make it
to
happen.
give you that opportunity to do
You
it.
gotta make it work.
If you're doing things for the right reasons and for the right things, a way always opens up.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't happen easy, and sometimes that way is you gotta do some of your stuff.
Yeah, but what he was saying with some of the frustrations from, I guess, being a dad and
trying to make ends meet and figure out how you're going to do what you're passionate about. Giving. Like I said, we don't realize, wrestling is a stepping stone for our child to have a chance at a better future.
That's right.
Because A, they want to do it. B, they enjoy doing it, and God forbid they happen to be good at it.
Right.
Then somebody decides to take it away for whatever their reasons are. That has nothing to do with you and yours. So now you got to come up with a solution with Micah, with you as coaches, finding the building to find a way for your son to have a chance in something that he loves. And he may not want to go in the draft. He may not want to go in.
Right.
He wants to wrestle.
Right, you definitely talking about my son.
Yeah,
He's 9 and he's already wanting to go to the Olympics. So just like you said, I mean, I couldn't go into the house and say, son, we can't wrestle no more. When he asked why, I'm saying, well, the school shut down. We can't do nothing. And at some point, I did say it to him, but at the same time, I've already kind of had this kind of, not fully 100% at the moment, but I was just talking to him. So when I mentioned it to him, I already made sure I had almost like a plan B set up just in case. But he was hurt. He was sad. He was like, Dad, this is what I want to do. Like, I signed him up for football 6 weeks ago. He went to one practice. After that practice, he came home. I said, how was it, son? Dad, I ain't a football player. I'm a wrestler. That made me feel so proud. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, wow, this is wrestling's lifestyle. Like they said, it ain't just something you play or something you do. You got to change your whole life when you're a wrestler, when you're a coach of a wrestler, when you're a husband, that dad coach. I mean, when you're a mother of a wrestler.
Yeah. It should never be ripped from you.
Yeah.
And I don't care what it is. If it's riding a bike or whatever, hiking, fishing, whatever, you shouldn't be told you can't do what you love to do.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, especially when you can go, like talking to Mike about a venue, when you got the money to pay for a venue, and they go, no, I can't use your money. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to open up. Those same people that are going to email you, but hey, come on back. But when you needed them, they ain't nowhere to be found.
They nowhere to be found.
Exactly.
And that's how it is most of the time, man.
The emotions, you want to talk about that? We've talked for Will has wanted to be the first 4-time state champion in his high school. Ever since his brother fell short. When Dylan lost his freshman year,
right.
Will, little kid, he said, I'm going to be the first 4-time state champion. And every single time anybody came along that might have been that next, whenever they didn't win one year, they said, I can still do it. And that's all he's been talking about. And when it came to the realization, I might win a state championship every year I'm in high school and not be the first 4-time state champion. It might not happen. And that hit him like a ton of bricks. It affected him for a couple of days. It was like he kicked his dog.
Especially when you shot your goal, you know what I mean? It's like.
And that's the terrible thing with school shutting down because they have no other outlet. So, I mean.
Yeah. Especially when it's not fully necessary. It's been proven that you can do it.
You can do it.
And that's, I don't think.
Everybody's so scared to get sued and have the news talking about them and all this mess. Man, the news gonna talk about everybody. It don't matter what you're doing good or what you're doing bad. Just do something. It's about the kids, man. It's about
leaders.
I ain't gonna say it like that because I was gonna say it's about saving the kids' lives, even though COVID got here, kind of taking people out. So I understand it kind of both ways.
Well, yeah, you have to do it safely, and I think that's what leaders do. Instead of just letting fear control your life,
right?
You find a way to provide that opportunity safely.
Exactly.
Right.
And if it's been proven that you can do that safely, you do it.
Right. Exactly. You don't stop.
And you can even, always be evaluating that and say, is there something more we can do?
That's it.
And then,
all right,
there is.
Right.
So you guys as coaches, actually y'all are coaches, what do you guys want to see happen as a coach? What would you hope the powers that be to understand about what it takes to build wrestlers in the state of South Carolina?
So what does it take to build a good wrestler in South Carolina?
Yeah, what would you want them to understand that it's from your perspective? But that you
My
want to see happen?
Same thing we're talking about. If you wanna be great if you want to be successful in wrestling, you got to put in the time, you got to put in the hard work, you got to sweat. Sometimes you got to bleed, but you don't give up, like ever. You know, you don't give up. And then it affects your life too when you get older. Because in me being a wrestler for my whole high school career, that taught me not to give up. So even on this place, when the school shut down, I couldn't say just give up. I had to find something and make it happen.
And that would have been the easy call.
Yeah,
all right, no season.
I could have just stopped and said, yeah. But then I know I would have had to look into these kids' faces. My son, he lives with me. I didn't want to look in his face every day and saying, "Son, I'm sorry, we couldn't do it for you." Because he's on the verge of doing big things too. He's already doing them too, and changing the way some of these kids around here want to wrestle. Because they watching, Zion's videos, they're watching KD's videos. So you gotta want it and make it happen. That would be my advice.
They gotta open up these schools and get these kids what they work hard for. A lot of these little kids, even high school level, they don't watch. Come up watching, wrestling, doing this or whatever sport it is. I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's the opportunity to do it. And it's like, you're just taking it away from them. That hurts more than anything.
Yeah.
To do something that I know I could do, and then for you to step in and be like, nah, I'm not going to do that. When it's proven it can be did safely, it's like when COVID hit last year, I was thinking this. My daughter made JV first, 7th grade. She played JV softball. Them girls practice so hard, they come from rec together. Even the seniors I think about. So they just snatch it. It's no sports.
So at that point though, what kind of advice would you as a coach give
the high school league?
Or a kid, period. I mean, when it comes to wrestling.
That's
like,
a tough.
What do you tell them,
It's tough because it's like, that's tough, man. It's hurtful. It is very painful. I mean, and I think about when I came up my senior year. If this was my senior year, I probably would have AWOL. I probably been that kid that's interested. Why you did this? The judge asked me, why you did this? Hey, this is my senior year, man, and they tell me I can't do this, and it's proven, it's a way I can do it, and they still telling me no. No one's like to be told no.
That's right. In fact, most people, if I tell you you can't do it, you weren't even thinking about doing it, but now you're gonna do it. I do some of the same things. I'm bad for that.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, a little bit of alpha male comes out. You're not gonna tell me I can't do it.
It's tough. I mean, how can you tell a child that? That's the thing. How can you tell them that? And I mean, I could only imagine the seniors last year in any sport, and then to be coming up this year and they strict on, well, we're gonna do this. We still got to meet about this. Like, man, come on, man.
Let's not forget the ones that was seniors and was trying to get wrestling scholarships and football scholarships and basketball scholarships. And they needed this year, and they needed
and they need this year to be significant too. Right. You can't have exhibition matches that don't count. You got to be able to let them show what they can do, especially in South Carolina.
This is my future.
Especially in South Carolina.
We fight that a lot in South Carolina because everybody's still, even though we're starting to win on a national level, we go some. Oh, it's just South
Carolina.
That's it. And like I say, that's why I say you got to look at it because it's a higher power. You got your career. You had that chance to do that. But you telling me I can't do this, you're killing my dreams, my career. It's like, it's
all roads will lead to South Carolina.
It's hard. It's hard.
Been there for a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for some very good people.
And it's proven to do it. When it's proven, you could continue to play sports. You could continue to do these things in a safe manner. How can you take it away? It's like that's my thing with it, man.
That's kind of been my argument.
Without even trying.
Yes, it's like how can you win these? It's crazy, man. Like, especially when you done did it, I'm out of high school, so I already know how they feel. Like, come on, I can talk about my senior year, all the sports things I did. You know,
I don't think there's
it's
anybody
like,
in here would go back right now if they could.
that's the memories.
Much less having one taken
That's
away
one of
from
the
you.
worst things you can take away from them is the memory from a small child. You know what I mean? I'm wrestling this season. What basketball season come? I wrestle. I'm ready to wrestle. They're ready to go. And then you're like, nah, I ain't doing it. That child's gonna act up. Then you got trouble on your hand. Like, okay, they ain't wanna let me do this. Well, me and the boys gonna hang out right here. Now the boys that was just robbing the store over there, now I'm with the boys robbing the store too.
That's right.
And where I was on a straight path, you took it away. You took that away from me. I didn't even try to make it
I got
happen.
some older kids that's like that now.
Like, it's hard,
I'm
man.
trying my best to keep
Well,
them away from the
and
street.
even
but-
when it's not being taken away, that's a struggle we fight as mentors and coaches, because we all have that one or two kids that are in there that you're trying like crazy to keep them in here because they need wrestling more than wrestling needs them right now.
Right.
Exactly.
And you're keeping them in when it's not taken away. Now you've put that obstacle there where it's a little bit harder for you to drag them there, and they get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I've
gonna
had a
take
few
you.
guys already. I've had a few already. It's terrible, but I mean, what do you do?
You keep providing opportunities, just like that. You know, like you said, you found you were going to do something.
Doing stuff like that.
I thought my team and I with getting these things. Dagan was about the point he wanted to hit me in the head with a bat during some of this, and you know what I'm saying. Even if we got to get a circus tent and put it up in a field somewhere, there's going to be something for these kids.
That's right.
And it's going to take people stepping up that have the courage to do something.
That's right. The alphas, the more alphas, boy. Ain't they something?